Welcome back to Pilgrim's Digress. I am your pilgrim. I'm an American by birth. I'm a Southerner by blood, but a New Englander by choice. Thanks for listening once again. Thanks for following me on social media. At Pilgrim's Digress NE on Instagram. At Pilgrim's Digress on Twitter. And I'm on Facebook as well. So I appreciate everybody hitting me up on the social media. I've got more followers on Instagram than I do listeners, I think. And I feel like that's an accomplishment, not necessarily something to look down upon. Today, I'm all by myself. Summer's here. There's no work. I've got a pep in my step, a grin on my face. I'm ready to go. Let's talk about what we've done this week. First and foremost, the wife was gone for 3 days. This is, look, wife, my mother, her mother, and my brother's wife. They all went to Portland, Maine together. Took some great lighthouse pics. They went to the restaurants and had fun, blah, blah, blah. So I was stuck. No, we'll back up. I was with my two children, 6 and 4. 6-year-old boy, 4-year-old girl. And I had the wonderful idea of taking them to Six Flags, New England. Now, it wasn't an A-plus day, and it wasn't an F- day. It was somewhere in the middle. And although I would love them to sponsor me, Six Flags New England did not have a good day. Not a good day! Mistake 1, Six Flags. I get there, and we get, so look, well, all summer, last summer, we had Six Flags passes, but we didn't have the meal passes. The meal plan is you pay so much, and you get a meal and a snack. And we got 2 of these packages. We were so excited. So I went thinking I could use both of these. Nope. Apparently, this is how they outsmarted me. Not only do we get meals, but you get free drinks. And this time there was no lemonade, and that was a big deal for the 4-year-old girl. For the FYG 4-year-old girl. No lemonade. Oh, what lemonade? Anyway, they outsmarted me. This is what they do when they scan your ticket or your pass on their little scan phone things as you walk in. A picture of you comes up. So when I went, I scanned myself and 2 kids, but guess who only had the meal plan attached to their season pass? Me. So I could only get stuff from my season pass, not the kids. If my wife had come, we could have used hers too. So I ended up throwing down like $20-some just for food alone, where it would have been totally free if I hadn't been outsmarted. Oh, those darn kids, those meddling kids over at Six Flags. There was no lemonade, but we did play some games. I keep going to Six Flags, and I told the guy there this. You go there, nobody's playing any of the games. This is the market at work, people. Nobody's playing any of the games, too expensive. So I went up and we started playing one where, it's kids play to win. No, they keep playing until they win. Like, there's no losing. You're going to pay and get a thing. So this one was darts at balloons, and so he had sold me on this package where you pay $20, but it's $50 worth of games. So I was like, yes, I'll take that, and then I'll make sure I use them all. So we did that, and that worked out pretty good, too. And then we threw some darts at balloons. We won a unicorn and a llama, some other fun stuff, and that was a blast. But I said to the guy, look, nobody's playing these games. This must be you guys trying to get people lined up on the games, because a lot of people are just at the water park and just don't want to pay for that. So the market works, people. But, we'll talk about the market in a second. But they did outsmart us, so next time I'll know to bring the wife, I guess. Because they have a picture. I can't even, bring my mother and say it's her, or bring somebody else and say it's them. That's smart. What else did we do? We finally planted the garden yesterday. Got some big garden boxes. And the highlight of the day for that was not just pulling out all the weeds and grass out of there. I know it's a late start, but the highlight of that were the 2 baby bunnies in the garden. Oh, they were just sitting there all stiff and scared and shivering. And so we're just kind of shooing them away, trying to figure out if you're supposed to move them. Wife is like, if you touch them, the mama will eat them. And I was like, okay. So we Googled that, and that was false. It's the age we live in, right? And then the highlight of the day was we were getting ready to finish up, and wife was pulling the grass like from the edges of the garden boxes, and we hear this, "Arr!" And wife freaks out. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What was that? What was that? This woman has stepped on a baby bunny. Right on it. Arr! It was so sad. So she like runs away. I don't know. Go look at it. Someone ever looked at it. He seemed fine. His eyes open. There was no like guts anywhere. She says she stepped on him. Full out step. And so I poke him a little bit, and eventually she picks him up, and I keep poking him a little bit, and he runs off. Bouncy, 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 gone. Right? And so we're thinking about it, and my wife says, she says, oh my God, it made the noise that dog toys make. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. She's like, no. That's pretty weird and morbid, right? Somebody heard that noise and said, what would get dogs excited? I don't know. Dying baby bunny noise? So that was freaky. So every time you squeeze one of those things in PetSmart, that's the sound of a dying baby bunny, or probably there's some other mammal. And then today I'm out mowing the lawn. And it may have been me, it may have been her, but there's this dead baby bunny over in the corner of the lawn, missing a leg, got maggots all over it. I don't know what happened to this one. CSI, rabbit CSI up in there, but it looked like I may have hit it with the lawnmower because I didn't run through there before that, though. Ooh. We'll get to the bottom of this. All right, so that's what we did yesterday. And then after that, we power washed the deck. What a dad thing to do. We grabbed the power washer. I tried to put the detergent in there and mix it up. There's a line you're supposed to make. I didn't do all that. So all the pollen's on our deck. Power washing, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do. It's like reverse painting. I hate painting, but power washing is reverse painting. It's so satisfying. When the pollen, right off. And there's no mess. It's just water. It is reverse painting. I love it. What did I power wash? Like we had this plastic bin. We keep all our chair cushions. And had some mold, not mold, but like green pollen stuff on it. It's just right off. Get real close to it. So that was fun. Power washing is a blast. So that's the start of Pilgrim summer. I wanted to get my audience to get to know me a little bit more, right? Because my podcast is about many different kinds of people, but what hopefully will keep you coming back is the feeling that there's somebody that you're used to behind the microphone. At least one person that you're used to. Oh, that guy's silly, hilarious, interesting. He asks good questions, blah, 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 right? Because if I'm boring or you don't know anything about me, that's not any fun either. So I have such a wide variety of guests in my backlog now. I think I'm 10. This is episode 11. And I have a wide variety looking forward to, right? So a couple more teachers, some more small business owners, and more musicians. So people that I'm reaching out to. And I'm really excited about that range. But at the same time, if you're not trusting me as a host, or if you're not liking me as a host, or if you don't know anything about me as a host, we can't have that. All right, so that's what we're doing this summer, and that's what I'm doing with some of these solo Pilgrim episodes. The last one I did, I went over some news and stuff. That was fun. Today I'm gonna go a little bit into don't turn me off. We're gonna talk about politics, but don't turn me off. Don't do it. I know you're not here for politics. There are plenty of political podcasts. I'm not that. But let me tell you why I'm not political. All right. So I'm a history teacher, right? And I know, this doesn't sound bad. I know so much about U.S. history and politics that I think I've got it figured out. I've solved it. This is why I'm not political. Especially right now, right? Because everything's so polarized. Pilgrims polarize politics. Now, we can all agree on two things. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. To run a society, you have to collect money from everyone and give it back out to other people. That has to be done. If you're on the super conservative side, you do it with guns, right? The military. We have to pay someone to stand on the border and make sure nobody invades us. That makes sense. Every country does that. At least every country has a military. I don't know about the standing on border situation, but that's been the history of all societies and civilizations. Collect the money, spend that money on things. Military, you make your kids smart, you feed old people, you keep some people warm, and you help people start businesses by not taxing the crap out of them, right? So we can agree on that. We can also agree that it's not fair when people get money that they don't deserve, right? And so what's happened in our society, this is why we don't talk about politics, because I can argue both sides. And for some reason, people aren't really willing to change their minds. And there's a verb that I'm going to give you that if you ever get into a political situation, there's a verb that you're going to say that if you want to talk about politics with me, this is what you got to say. And this is why I don't talk about politics, even though I am right now. Everybody agrees that it's not fair when people get money they don't deserve. And there are two extremes of this that we sit and camp on, right? On the right, they say people who do not work or refuse to work, they don't have any money. People who refuse to work should not get money for free because they do not deserve it. And you know what? You can't, there's arguments for that, but if you say that a person doesn't deserve it, you have your own reasons, and that's what you got to argue about. Now, the other side would say there's people who live in very large houses and who inherited money or got money unfairly or aren't sharing appropriately. Those people are rich people. Some people believe that it's not fair when those people get money they don't deserve. The key there being, how do people deserve to get money from our pool of money that we've all collected as a society, and who should get it and who should deserve it, and so on and so forth. That's what it is. And you're not going to change people's minds. Well, you should be able to, but nowadays people will not look to the other side and go, oh, that makes sense, right? A normal conservative, I won't say normal, open-minded conservative would say, yeah, I guess it makes sense that maybe some people who are below the poverty line might, in some views, might not deserve the money, but it would help them to get going, right? Lyndon B. Johnson said, a hand up, not a handout, right? That's a position. You can still be a conservative and say things like that, but apparently in these days, times, you can't. Or you can go to the left side and say, rich people should be given, 80, 90% of their income, blah, 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 blah. They don't deserve it. Well, that's the crux. Deserve. What does deserve mean? What if you literally did the best thing ever and helped so many other people get rich, and all of your actions help other people make money as well? The key there is don't deserve. Who determines who deserves money out of the pool of money that we put together as a society? The people we elect. And the problem is both sides have got us convinced that they should determine who gets money from the pool and who deserves that money. So what's happened is we're all on these two sides. We can't give any ground anywhere because everybody's obsessed with being right and winning. Rather, here's the verb, rather than fixing problems. Neither side is interested in fixing problems, or they're not interested in helping each other fix problems, because both sides have some legitimate points, especially economically. It's usually where I stick with politics. They don't want to fix problems. Those people are starving. What's the fix? Those people have money they don't deserve. What's the fix? The kids aren't smart enough. How do we fix that? Right? Usually it's the kids aren't smart enough, so right says thing. The kids aren't smart enough, so the left says another thing. And nobody's really willing to even consider a piece of the other side. I could go all day about politics. I have positions on politics. They're on both sides. I've voted R and D and neither. So you're not getting anywhere with it unless you're going to pick a side. That's the other problem. I just came up with this in my head while I was talking. You're not going to get listens, and you're not going to get paid, and you're not going to get advertisements, and you're not going to scare people, and you're not going to motivate people unless you put fear of the other side in them, or if you have to make people listen. And fixing problems, very boringly, is not sexy. People won't pay for that. People don't watch that. Blaming the other side, crying out, the world's going to end on either side. That's what gets you clicks. It's what gets you airtime. It's what gets you advertisers. And I'm not going to do that here. That's it. I don't even care. So you won't get much of Pilgrim's politics unless things really hit the fan. But I have a lot of faith in the system. Well, we'll see. That's where we're at with that. And I'm I'm in New England, so in Massachusetts especially, right? So voting is a different kind of monster to tackle. I'm really interested in primaries. I voted in both primaries, presidential primaries here. What's the word? Here you register not as independent because that's an actual party. You register as it's like unregistered or undeclared, I think it's called. That's what I'm registered as, undeclared. So when the primaries come around, I get to choose which one I get to vote in. If you're RD, you have to vote in that primary. Or even if you accidentally hit independent for that during the primary, they hand you a ballot that says independent on it, and that's the only thing you can vote on. So take that if you're in Massachusetts. Make sure if you want to have a choice everywhere, you want to do undeclared or unregistered. I forget which one it is. All right, next up, to get to know the Pilgrim a little more, I'm going to tell you an old college story. Now, college was a long time ago. This is my freshman year and my first semester. We're standing around getting ready to catch a shuttle. This is me. I'm going to say it's me, 4 or 5 dudes, 4 or 5 girls. We're standing outside our dorm, just hanging out. I think it's late October-ish. I remember I was not wearing a jacket. Late October-ish, and we're all standing around having a good time, really nervous about college in general. Dude, people gain weight. I lost like 10 pounds the first month or two of college because I was so nervous about things. And yeah. So we're all standing around trying to get know some ladies. Nothing out of the ordinary, too crazy. And, so we're talking, and all through high school I had this, what do I call it, move? No. It's more like a prank? No. More like a tease? I don't know. But I noticed this girl doing a thing that I noticed girls this age doing all the time, and it's the hands on hip stand. One knee bent, say the right knee is bent a little bit, pointed to the side, all the weight's on the left leg, nice and straight. So what I like to do is walk up to the girl right next to her and put my right knee right to the back of her left knee. I'm standing right beside her. And you hit it, and it just goes, and it unbends a little bit, and they lose their balance and almost fall over. And it gives you a shot to catch them if they're falling. I got you, baby. But, so I'm planning this one. She's doing it like, oh, I got to do this. It works every time. And so I walk up to her, give it a little beep. Perfect shot right there. I can see the first buckle. So she buckles a little bit, and I start to point, get ready to point and laugh. My fingers in the air. I'm doing it right now because you can't see me. I breathe in to laugh at her, but then she boom goes to the ground and begins to cry. Oh jeez. Oh, my knee. I look over. She's wearing jeans, but you can see her kneecap is 2 inches to her left. Just totally out of socket, out of whack, and it was crazy. I put my hands over my mouth. Oh my god, sorry, she's crying. Oh, my knee. And then I remember her saying, it's an old cheerleading injury. Oh my gosh. That actually may be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me now that I think about it. In front of new people. Usually I can play stuff off, but not this time. We had to call We had to call the campus ambulance. They had to take her to the emergency room. I don't even know. She ended up on crutches and a cast. I'm surprised I didn't get sued or something. And the good thing is she got a handicap sticker for a car, but she didn't have a car. Guess who had a car? So I drove her around for a week. I can't remember if that was like her idea or was it my idea? I don't remember. But I remember driving her around for like a week. And then I got this, I parked in my dorm. She was like a dorm down or something, and I parked in a handicap spot in the dorm and dropped her off, and I just went on my way. I just stick her, hey, hooked it up. And I got a note on my car that says, I saw you get out of your car. You're not injured at all. Blah, 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 blah. All right, whatever. So that's that. That was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. It was insane. I remember sitting next to a tree with my head in my hands, just being so embarrassed. Sorry. I didn't. Oh, man. The other most embarrassing thing that happened in college, this is a good story. I just thought about telling this. This is very close to the same thing. Maybe this is why I was kind of kooky that first semester. I was going to... No, this was my second year. This is my sophomore year. I was going to Spanish 201 or something with Miss so-and-so. I forgot what the last name was. But anyway, I find my way. There's this brand new building on campus. I haven't been in it yet. So I'm finding my way. And I go in this class, and everything looks normal. And the only thing that was different was just like, it was like all girls in this class. And I was like, what is going on? This is weird. And so I sat right in the middle of the room. It was the last one left because I was lost and I couldn't find it. And this lady gets up in the front. Yeah, this lady gets up in the front, and she's like, hi, welcome to class, everybody. And I know you're all really excited about English 201. I said, what? And I said, what? Huh? What? And then I looked around and realized this is English class. And it's all like girls who want to do creative writing or something. So I was like, oh, geez, I'm in the middle of the room. What do I do? And I decided right then and there, I'm going to stick this out. I'm like, first day of class, not that big of a deal. I'm just going to stick this out. All she's going to do is go over the syllabus and then be like, that's class. They'll let you go early. Rock on. And I can maybe talk to her later and figure out where I'm supposed to be. And then she's like, I'm Mrs. So-and-so. Now, Mrs. So-and-so happened to be the same last name as Mr. So-and-so, my new Spanish teacher. They were married. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a mistake I made, right? So I'm sitting there. She's like, here's the syllabus, blah, blah, blah. And she puts the syllabus down and she says, okay, now I'm going to pass out these index cards. If we could all write down our names and why we took this class and what year we are, and blah, 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 blah. That's when panic sets in, right? Oh, what am I going to do? I thought I might just bolt out right now. And I remember thinking, I don't know which ones of these doors is the exit. How am I going to pass? There's backpacks all around the place. I was thinking about raising my hand and just be like, oh, I didn't know what to say. I'm in the wrong class. And then finally, it's like the middle of it was like, I'm not kidding, it was like 30 minutes into the class. These girls. That was embarrassing. And I could not figure a way out of it. So I filled out the index card. And another 10 minutes passed, right? So she's going through, hi, my name's Kathy. Blah, blah, blah. Finally comes me and I said, my name's Aaron and I'm in the wrong class. I'm supposed to be with Spanish, who I think your husband. I got a good laugh. And then I think she was like, you can leave if you want. And I was like, no, I think I'm going to stay. That sounds interesting. So I got a laugh and a hoot, but I was red as a tomato. That was super embarrassing. So college was a rough start, but eventually it went really well. Where I found my love of history. And when I took history in college, like this is it. But so I eventually went to Spanish class. Spanish class was rough. It was a requirement for the BA, but that was a rough first day for sure. So that's that. That's why we don't do politics, and that's why I can listen to myself on a podcast and eventually on videos. So With that said, I'm probably going to be amping up the Instagram a little bit with some videos of me and my kids doing some things over the summer. Hopefully you can get connected there. Give me some shares, and I can link to shows as well. And keep up with the show. I've got some very interesting people lined up, and I've got a brand new, I got the Zoom microphone. Zoom, give me a call. The Zoom, not microphone, but a recorder that I can plug microphones in, and I can go to places now, right? Last episode, I was at Timberyard, and I was just using my phone to record all that background music. But that episode was at Alex's house, and I was just able to set up a Zoom and plug in the microphones right then and there. So I'm going to be going some different places. I'm going to be going with the family to some places as well. We're going to New Hampshire. I'll probably do a podcast from there, either just with the family, or maybe I might try to find somebody up there that I could interview and get a different taste of New England that I'm not getting here in Massachusetts. And excited to keep going. I've passed the 7 threshold of episodes, which is like, most podcasters don't go past 7. The other threshold is 10. And there's another one I keep reading about 15. So I'm just going to keep going. And it's a great hobby for me. Finally, somebody can't talk back to me or talk while I'm talking. I'm a teacher. I get a lot of talking. So, and I plan to bring some history lessons too, 10-minute history lessons about what a pilgrim is. What's the difference between a pilgrim and a Puritan? What's going on with that? What's the difference between New England settlers and Virginia settlers? Stuff like that. So stay tuned. I've got all the time in the world on my hands at this point, between having fun with the kids, taking care of the house, and doing the podcast. Got a lot more to say and a lot more to research and do and prepare for. So I'm excited to get on with that as well. So maybe I'll play you out with a song.